Thank you, Madam Speaker. Happy to rise to speak to Bill 12. So, last Thursday, May 2nd, I had a chance to go visit Bedford Village in Sherwood Park, which is a Christensen development property where the people there and all the residents are life lease holders. My friends Betty, Lou, and Marion, they invited me, and so I was delighted for the invitation to go to the weekly coffee time that happens Thursdays at 9 o'clock at Bedford Village. I don't think I was quite ready for what I was going to walk into. I thought I might see my friend Reg, who used to live at Bedford Village, but still comes back to visit his friends there. And he always has a great suggestion on how I should operate as an MLA. I felt a little sad too that the last time I had visited Bedford Village, my friend Keith was still alive, and his family is sadly in the queue of over 180 families waiting to receive the life lease entrance fees back from the Christensen group of companies. But before I go further, I actually just want to say I think in this assembly, and it's really challenging in our communication, when we talk about these entrance fees or call them deposits, we're talking about $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. These are people's life savings. They're their nest eggs, the money they expected to use when they move to long-term care, the money might have been hoping to pass on in inheritance. And for over 180 families right now, they are waiting for their money so that they can use it for what they had thought of. The best thing I could tell the people at coffee time was that your money is in this building, Bedford Village. That's where your life savings is in right now. You just can't withdraw it when you need to. And that is a tragedy and a very sad thing. So back to Bedford Village, I had walked into something and I was a bit astonished by the sheer number of the people that showed up. There was over 60 people that showed up for coffee time. The last time I was there was 15. There was something else going on that I wasn't quite tuned into. The topic everybody wanted to talk about was their life lease agreements. They wanted a report. What is going on with Bill 12? What is going to be done so that we, current life lease holders, can feel safe again, feel secure with our money? It was a tough position to be in as an MLA. What I learned, people cannot sleep. They are wrecked with worry that they have entered into this agreement that is going to hold up money for their family when they pass it on, or for them when they need it to go to long-term care. And it was a tough situation to be in to know that I had to say, you know, this current legislation, Bill 12, is going to help people on a go-forward basis. It's going to have no benefit for you. And I don't know that I gave them any rest that evening. I did get a kind of an interesting side story. Irene, brilliant, bright lady of over 90 years old now, can't drive anymore. So she's had to give up her parking stall in Bedford Village. This was actually just an interesting little side story. Irene lent Christensen Developments $30,000 for her parking stall in Bedford Village. So parking stalls are typically deeded in these condominium projects that Christensen Development builds in Centre in the Park. And there's about 4 condo buildings there. And you are deeded your parking stall and you can trade it. I've seen it on Kijiji, I've seen it on Facebook Marketplace, people selling their parking stalls. So Irene had lent $30,000 to Christensen Developments. Now she can't drive, she's been told that, she sold her car. So I was astonished to learn now that Irene has to go into the queue to get her $30,000 for her deposit on her parking stall. So now she goes to the back of the line of 180 people to wait for her $30,000 for her parking stall. So
That's amazing.
It was a bit of astonishing. So as a member from Edmonton Whiteman has mentioned, people are waiting 3 years. I don't know when Irene is getting 3 years for $300,000 and $400,000 and $500,000. I don't know when Irene is going to get her $30,000 back. Another thing I was astonished to learn, it was a bit surprising, but the people that are in attendance told me that Christensen Developments at Bedford Village for people that are moving in are no longer entering into life lease agreements. So they are no longer entering into life lease agreements, and this was a bit of an interesting tell, because the minister's been great about mentioning about all the times he's met with Greg Christensen. So I'm sure Greg Christensen is very on top of this, and I know he is. He is responding very publicly about the situation, about the lopsided agreements that he has with people and how he's not going to pay them back. And he knows now with the passing of Bill 12, entering into a life lease agreement is not good business for Greg Christensen. So he's not entering into any new life lease agreements. It's also not good news for the current life lease holders or the people in the queue, because that means that new people coming into the residence are not giving cash that could be passed on to take one person off the queue.
Ending the Ponzi.
The Ponzi scheme is ended, but it is a really strong tell that Christensen Developments, knowing that Bill 12 is coming into effect, has said, not good for our business anymore. Just to backtrack a little bit, the minister has been great about letting us know that we've been involved in this process. So back in October of 2023 is when I got first wind of the people of Bedford Village who are concerned about their life leases. Reg was one of the first people to tell me, and he, once he heard what was going on with the new rental agreements at Christensen Development, he moved out, but now he's in the queue. But I sent a letter to Minister and to Greg Christensen, and Christensen was great. He was able to meet right away. I turned out that wasn't too productive, but I was able to reiterate the urgent nature of this issue on behalf of the constituents at Bedford Village that are waiting for payment. The NDP MLA for Lethbridge West and the MLA for Edmonton Whitewood also wrote letters to Minister Nally calling on him to introduce life lease legislation to support life lease holders. Oh, I retract, the minister. Thank you very much.
Retracted. It's all right.
The Honourable Minister is amenable with the apology.
Say the minister. Bad notes here. So the NDP MLA for Lethbridge West and the MLA for Edmonton Whitewood wrote letters to the minister calling on him to introduce life lease legislation to support life lease holders, the current life lease holders, as the member from Gold Bar pointed out. That was in the mandate letter. Let's help the life lease holders, those that are holding life leases right now. So many good provisions were offered to provide provisions to ensure that entrance fees are repaid. And I'm also grateful to the work for the MLA for St. Albert and the MLA for Calgary Falconridge for their work to provide ideas for the minister. So earlier this year, February 2024, Minister Nally invited, my apologies, I got to improve my notes, Madam Chair, but the minister invited myself and some other MLAs to provide some input and announced that they would be introducing legislation. So the NDP MLAs, after the meeting, we spoke up and urged the minister to have more consultation with Albertans and include stronger regulations in the bill. Then on March 26th of this year, the NDP caucus held a conference with the Alberta Life Lease Protection Society, and later that day, Bill 12 was introduced here in the legislature. So we've had some time to debate it. And as a direct result of the public pressure that brought this legislation in, we have had a chance to debate the Consumer Protection Life Lease Amendment Act, hoping that it could help the current life lease holders. However, it's now clear that nothing will be done for the people who are currently in the life lease agreements, like the residents at Bedford Village and Sherwood Park. And it is a sad situation that we are conveying to them. Some of our suggestions seem to have been incorporated into Bill 12, but not the most critical suggestion: to make it the law that people owed their entrance fees get paid back. The Alberta NDP MLAs have tried to strengthen Bill 12 by requesting the following amendments in the legislature, covering current life lease holders who are owed entrance fees, but this amendment was opposed by the UCP. adding the ability of people owed entrance fees to get a court order to get their money back, as well as personal liability for the directors of companies that withhold their entrance fees. But this was also opposed by the UCP. Shrinking the repayment timeline from 180 days to 90 days, similar to Manitoba's legislation for all life lease holders. And as you may not be surprised to know now, this was opposed by the UCP. The minister, I do recall in the legislature, said that not-for-profit operators cannot handle a 90-day repayment timeline. However, it's interesting that in Sherwood Park there's another life lease building, Laurier House, Strathcona, which is operated by Capital Care. It's not for profit, and it promises repayment in 45 days. And I know family members through connections in my community that have been there and can confirm they get their money back 45 days after they move out.
Same with Lions.
Yeah, similar with the Lions Society. The not-for-profits are actually able to manage this. So it felt disingenuous to have the minister say that was what's holding an ability to go from 180 days to 90 days. So Alberta NDP MLAs will continue to stand up for life lease holders and advocate for better consumer protection. This legislation is not helping existing life lease holders. And Madam Chair, I want to say that is a disaster waiting to happen, because we are talking about the current life lease holders of over 180 families that are waiting in the queue and that are owed over $60 million. And each of those 180 is owed $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. But there are, Madam Chair, there are 400, I understand there are 400 families that are currently in life lease agreements with Christensen Developments. Christensen Developments is holding over $200 million of their money. So this is beyond the 180 that are dealing with in the queue. There are 400 families that are affected by this, and I met 60 of them at Bedford Village. It's a disaster waiting to happen that could go down in Alberta history with the likes of Bre-X in terms of financial disasters and fraud. We had the opportunity to help existing life lease holders, and the UCP did not get the job done. Alberta seniors built this province and deserve to know their money is secure and can be accessed in a reasonable timeline whenever it is requested. Thank you, Madam Chair.